capturing a sci-fi fantasy ranger. We've got that here, and if you love bounty hunting, this is kind of the class reskin for you in a sci-fi fantasy setting, correct?
That's called the Tracer, and these are the ultimate hunters. They have a supernatural instinct of the hunter, no matter what they're seeking. This is the bounty hunteriest bounty hunter class in the game. You know, the D&D Ranger does a great job selling that kind of Aragorn flavor of your hunting through the wilderness and trying to seek out great beasts, but really selling the Tracer as someone who hunts not just in the wilderness, but even in the urban jungle, or trying to track down a bounty or hunt a giant alien creature. And so we have the Bloodhound, that is your classic detective, your Blade Runner, your ultimate bounty hunter seeking people. They're navigating not necessarily jungles in the wilds, but the concrete jungles. They're navigating cities. They're working with people. They're able to use their wiles to help either intimidate or persuade or interrogate witnesses to get a good lead. So we want to make sure we captured, if you are playing a noir-themed detective, we have the subclass for you. And we also wanted to have the classic fantasy of getting into a suit of armor, having the cool upgrades, blasting foes with your arm cannon, and that is the power tech. You have your ultimate Mandalorian or Samus fantasy here, where you can get a suit of armor that is effectively a second skin for you, that you're able to choose all the upgrades, and you're finding the bounties or whatever it is that you're hunting, and you're choosing the right upgrade for the job.
Next, we have the X Agent. These are specialists in alien technology. They are uncovering secrets of the universe, whether it's through study or discovering alien artifacts or high-tech weapons. And they have a little bit of cryptist flavor to them. They can cast spells similar to cryptists, and they're able to empower their weapons into occult tech, which lets them be able to either disintegrate their foes or deal extra psychic damage and beyond. This is your classic X-Files, Hellboy, SCP fantasy where, you know, you're probably part of some cool secret organization that wants to keep a containment on dangerous alien life forms. And finally, this is our version of the classic wilderness tracker, but we threw in dinosaurs because dinosaurs are cool as hell. This is the Protostalker.
Let's go.
This is one of our pet subclasses. This is your classic big game hunter, your sort of park warden or ranger, or maybe you're a conservationist and you really like dinos and you fight side by side with your dino buddy of any flavor you like. Well, we'll have options for any of your favorites. This is really going to be kind of the most wilderness and elemental based subclass, where if you want to really live that fantasy of you're tracking through the jungle and maybe you're trying to take out a giant alien beast with your best friend, this is the one for you.
The Tracer, their core sort of fantasy and theme is they're in touch with primordial magic and just the essence of the hunt and the different facets that can take. So their instincts, innate talents, and then their expressions of magic, however they choose to express it, whether it's techno magic or traditional magic, those all focus on making them a better hunter in some way.
Well, let's get into Hunter's Mark. How does that function in this?
So 5.5 made some interesting tweaks to the Ranger to sort of boost how it interacts with some of its abilities. Notably the change from like favorite enemy to the Hunter's Mark ability. So we take that a little bit of a step further. Given the prevalence of so much extra ranged damage that you're going to be having to deal with, maintaining concentration on spells might be a problem. And so we have added a feature at a lower level that allows the Tracer to maintain concentration on their Hunter's Mark spell even if they take damage. Damage can't break their concentration on it. And then at a higher level, they have the option to remove the concentration from Hunter's Mark entirely at the cost of very short duration.
That's awesome.
So in book 1, our subclasses for the Tracer are the Bloodhound and the Power Tech. So the Bloodhound, this Tracer is great at knowing how to track through other people and the environment around you rather than looking for footprints. They look for the traces that you leave in your community and they follow you that way.
So when you say traces in the community, like even your digital footprint?
It could be expressed that way, yeah,
or just
but
your very presence that you like.
But like,
people have
imagine
witnessed you
instead of making a wisdom survival check to track someone, you make a charisma persuasion or intelligence investigation, or if you're feeling saucy, a charisma investigation as you get people to open up to you and put the clues together to find out where this person has been and where they're holding up.
They call you Blade Runner.
Yes, that is a good touchstone.
Tell me about the second one. That's
So the power tech, this one is close to my heart. They dip into a little bit of machinist flavor because they create this hunter's armor that becomes sort of a magical extension of them. If you can think of, any power armored bounty hunter from any number of properties that you might think of.
Who can I think of?
Someone who might have something like a jetpack or a cool arm cannon.
Yeah, you don't normally associate rangers with having like heavy armor and stuff
Right.
like
Yeah.
that.
So this is a heavy armor ranger. You have the option of doing heavy armor if you want to. You don't have to.
Yeah.
I will be. I invite you to join me.
It's interesting that bounty hunters in general are such a big part of sci-fi. I mean, obviously Cowboy Bebop, but also Star Wars, everything.
Yeah. Star Wars. Yeah.
Blade Runner. I mean, it's
huge.
Yeah, it's a massive thing.
And I love it.
Why do you think it is?
I couldn't tell you. I absolutely adore bounty hunters. I think partially it was Boba Fett had one of the coolest helmets in all of Star Wars.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, he's literally a sci-fi knight.
Yeah.
What are the other two subclasses we're getting in Overdrive?
So in the Overdrive expansion, we have the Protostalker and the X Agent. The Protostalker is our answer to the Beastmaster, where you're going to have an alien creature buddy that comes along with you and joins you on the hunt.
That is the dream.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And we got to do it. And I love Beastmaster, so I'm for sure doing an alien version.
So often when you look at a typical D&D Ranger Beastmaster, you're like, okay, well, it has to be grounded in natural monsters.
Right.
Always had a hankering just to have monsters.
Yeah.
And do whatever you want to. And in that sci-fi setting, to be able to like, maybe this is a genetically engineered beast, or this is an apex predator from a planet you happen to survive on. There's such narrative hooks.
I mean,
that can happen.
If you want to do a more technologically based tracer
Yeah.
as your Protostalker, we have a whole faction that's all about genetically modified monsters. So
Yeah.
no problem.
That's fantastic.
You could just be part of the Chimera Bionetics company. So the X Agent, this is an interesting one. They are hunters of ancient alien technology. And it's funny to say aliens when we're talking about how many worlds in this galaxy. But there are alien beings of immense power who have come and gone, and they left their mark and their remains and their remnants behind. So the X Agent is great at seeking those out. And the X Agent has, for their magic, a little bit of cryptist flair. So where the power tech kind of touches on machinist, the X Agent touches on the cryptist, our expression of the warlock. And so they're all about forbidden technology, ancient secrets, and building that into their... the way they build it is quite literally, they create what we're calling an occult tech weapon.
Oh, weird.
And they can build a cryptist spell into their weapon and use it to cast the spell.
Using ancient alien technology.
And
something that is, when you say, like you mentioned, alien, like we don't get it. We don't understand it.
Correct.
And that's such a huge part of sci-fi as well, is that unknowable.
Yeah, and
Intelligence.
unknowable is a great one because these guys sometimes need to fly under radar really, really well. And so they have this fun feature where if they have protection from evil and good cast on themselves, it's hard to recognize them. Their features become non-distinct. They slide off your memory. Cameras glitch out and can't capture them. Yeah, so it's got a little fun Men in Black
that's great flavor.
urban legend vibe for it.
I love it, man.
Yeah.